Most people that get into dropshipping think that they're building a business, when in reality they're just building a pump and dump store that comes today and is gone tomorrow. They're not building anything with actual equity, anything with real brand value that they can go on to sell. The key word there being brand, okay? They're not building an actual brand. And there's a distinct difference between a dropshipping store and an actual brand. In this video, I'm going to show you how to build a brand, how to build something that actually has value, how to leverage systems and team members to build a business that can not only maintain without you, but also grow without you. The problem is when most people get into dropshipping, they treat it as just that. They treat it as a dropshipping business. But what you need to remember is dropshipping is just a fulfillment method, okay? It's the process of getting a product from A, the supplier, to B, the customer, without ever having to come into contact with the product. But that doesn't mean that you should operate it as a dropshipping business, because what you're actually building is an e-commerce brand. And that's how you need to think about it. That is the difference. It's that key word. You need to start focusing more on the experience that you're providing to the customer. So you're no longer launching these pump and dump stores that are here today, gone tomorrow, and you can actually build something that has longevity. And that's the difference. I used the exact same system, the same blueprint to go from zero to over $1 million in sales with my most recent brand in as little as 10 months. Now, the problem with traditional dropshipping is that people typically sell low ticket, low quality junk. You've probably seen meta ads on Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, people selling $20, $30, $40 products. This is low ticket, low quality junk that's been sourced in China for next to nothing, shipped to the customer, and most of the time these customers that are seeing these ads on these interruption-based marketing platforms are buying on impulse anyway. And most of the time they're selling these products having already found a competitor and simply stealing their products, stealing their ads, stealing their creative, and then running those to generate sales. But there's a different way to do product and market research without having to look at what everyone else is doing on Meta, and actually you can sell higher ticket products. And it's this distinct shift that allows you to actually build something different to what everyone else is doing and actually build a brand, and you can back it up with data, okay? What I recommend doing is using what I call my 4-step product validation method. And you can use a few tools to determine whether or not a product has high search demand, low competition, a product is evergreen, meaning you can sell it year round, and a high profit potential. The profit comes from selling higher ticket products. So forget $20, $30, $40 products. We're going to be selling products that have $100 plus to really build a brand. And there's many, many benefits to selling higher ticket products. The most important one is you're going to have more profit left over per sale, more profit you can spend on actually building a solid team, on building an experience and a brand around your products, as opposed to the traditional dropshipper testing 5 products a day on meta ads, trying to sell low ticket, low quality junk. It's a different model and it's a different business. But by using my 4-step product validation method, we can find products that are actively in demand and just sell these products to customers who are already looking for them, meaning we have a higher conversion rate, we have a lower cost per sale, and we keep more profit at the end of it because we're selling high ticket products to people who are already looking for them. And that is the difference. So with this method, by using a few tools, we can do all of the data validation up front. Meaning, when you run a product through my 4-step product validation method, you can check for existing demand, you can check that you're going to be able to generate sales year round, you can check for competition, and also you can check to make sure that the price point is high enough for you to keep more of that profit. And you do this by using 4 tools that are available online. All of them are available for free by Google. The first is Google Shopping. So when you get a product idea, you can simply type it in Google, which is a search engine, and have a look for products and see what price other people are selling them for on Google. Provided they're $100 plus, then you can move on to step 2, which is then using a tool called Google Keyword Planner. And again, another free tool by Google. What you can do is type in that name of the product again, and Google's going to show you every single month how many people are looking for this exact product that you're doing research on. So you can see how many people in the UK are searching for this product every month, how many people in the US, in Canada, Australia, Europe, wherever it may be. Google is going to give you that data for free. Now, provided you can find products that have monthly searches of at least 1,000 plus in a particular country, then that is yet another green tick. If they pass that test, then the next thing we'll go on to is the evergreen test. So this is step number 3. For this, you use a tool called Google Trends. That allows you to review whether or not a product can be sold year round, because it's going to show you trending data over the past 5 years or even longer. It actually goes back as far as 2004. So you input the name of the product once more into Google Trends, and it will then start showing you month over month how this product performs. And what you're looking for is consistency over time. Okay, you don't want something that extremely goes up and then straight back down. You want something that is consistent and ideally scaling upwards, right? You want ideally a nice diagonal, but as long as it's flat, at least, that's the most important thing, because that tells us that there is existing demand year round. Now, provided all three of these things are in check, then you would then proceed on to the last step, which is actually getting a quote from a private agent who is essentially your eyes and ears on the ground in China, right? A private agent is someone that is native Chinese speaking, they live in China, they have access to all of the supply network in China. You then present them with a product that you'd like them to source. They will then go away, reach out to their supplier network, tell you the product cost and the shipping cost, and then you can determine, based on what you've seen the rest of the market selling at on the Google shopping results, what your difference is going to be between the product and shipping cost and the sale price. And that difference is then your profit margin. For example, if your product and shipping cost is 25% of your selling price, then you know you've got a 75% gross profit margin, which is round about what you want to aim for. And that's the type of research I will typically do before I even bring a single product to market, as opposed to most people that will simply just go to Meta ad library, TikTok ad library, steal someone else's product, steal their ads, and then run that. You can see the difference, right? The degree that we go to actually validate products with existing demand and data. Once I've validated one product, then what I will do is I'll try to find at least 4 more. Ideally, you want to launch a store within a niche with 5 core products as a starting point. Right? The reason for that is because typically the 80-20 rule applies, meaning one of those 5 products will go on to generate about 80% of your revenue. Don't ask me how it works, it just does. If you want to, you can check out the 80-20 rule and learn a little bit more about it. Now, the reason you want to build a niche store is because the riches are in the niches, and by positioning yourself within a particular niche, you can become an authority, meaning you're the go-to for that particular category or subcategory of products, which is positioning you up here versus everyone else down here that's general dropshipping. Right? Remember, we want to build a brand, so we want to position ourselves as this authority in that particular niche. So we build a niche specific store, we launch 5 products, we understand who our ideal customer profile is, we know who we're talking to, what their wants, pains, needs, and desires are. When we truly understand our customers, we can build an experience, we can build a brand around that inside of our niche store, so that when customers land on our website, they feel as though they're being spoken to, because we already know everything about them. And that is the key thing when it comes to branding. They know what separates them from everyone else. You ask most dropshippers what separates them from their competition, they'll probably just shrug. They don't know, because they're copying everything from their competition. Don't get me wrong, that's a good place to start to see what the rest of the market is doing, but where you really extract the value information is by knowing your customer. When you know your ideal customer profile, then you can build a brand around them and they feel like they're being spoken to. That is what branding is. And when you do it successfully, it doesn't really matter how you generate the sales, whether you're using Meta ads, Google ads, TikTok ads. But for me personally, I like to use Google, and here's why, right? Those tools that we spoke about earlier, such as Google Keyword Planner, Google Trends, they rely on existing data, right? And most people, when you talk to them about dropshipping, they'll be showing you or telling you how to find the newest products, the hottest trend. But the problem with that is it ends up being a pump and dump store that comes straight up and straight back down. Whereas what we want is something that is consistent, something that slowly climbs up, that we can use to keep continuously growing month on month, year on year. We don't want a super sharp up curve, because what goes up must come down, right? Instead, what I recommend is using these tools to find products that have existing demand, right? On Google, we have the benefit of traffic coming to us. Think about it. When you go to Google, you type in the name of a product, there you see the product listings, you click one that's visually appealing or within your budget, you go onto the website, and if everything checks out, you proceed and buy it. You don't pull up Meta and go on Instagram, on Facebook and start scrolling when you're looking to shop for a product, do you? You go to Google. But the good thing about Google is because that existing demand is already there, people are searching every single day for the products that you've already validated using Google Keyword Planner and Google Trends, meaning you can leverage that existing demand that's already being created by other brands on the other networks, such as Facebook, Instagram, TikTok. All of these brands actively advertising on these channels are doing a lot of the demand creation for you. All you need to do is validate that demand, see the opportunity that is there, position yourself as a brand and an authority within that niche, and position yourself on Google in the right place. So when people search for that product or those products that you sell within your niche, your ads start appearing on the search and the shopping network. And there's other networks you can leverage as well. But I'd suggest starting there because that's where you're going to get the greatest return on investment. The other benefit with Google is because customers are coming to you, the other brands have already done a lot of the hard work for us in convincing them that this is the product that they need. So when they come to us, they already know that it's the product that they want. All we need to do is just put our ad in the right place and then capture the conversion at the bottom of the funnel. Whereas most people on Meta are way up here at the top of the funnel, but they've done all of the lead nurturing for us and the warming up. We're just down there, positioned on Google, ready to accept that transaction, which means we only pay a fraction of the cost. Because we're not the way up here, we're down here, we only pay prices for this last little bit of the advertiser journey. That's another added benefit of Google. So I like Google first brands where you can just capture and leverage existing demand and then work your way up the funnel. By all means, later down the line, add on Meta ads, add on TikTok ads if it works for your brand. Why not? It's just going to be more opportunity to introduce people to your brand higher up the funnel. But don't start there when you can start down here. So when you're able to find 5 products within a niche, you can position yourself as an authority, i.e. the logical solution or the go-to person for that particular category or subcategory of products. Then you just build a branded store, something that truly speaks to your ideal customer profile. Like I say, have a look at what your competition is doing, but don't base your store solely on what they're doing. Take the time to understand your ideal customer profile, truly speak to them in your ad copy and on your website, and then all you need to do is position yourself in the right place on Google, and people are naturally going to find your brand, provided that you've done the 4-step product validation correctly and found products that have high demand, low competition, products that are evergreen, and things that can be sold year-round with a high profit potential. If all of those things check, it's almost impossible for you to fail when it comes to dropshipping. Now, I can't guarantee anything because, sure, there's a lot of variables that need to be in check, but there's a system that has been designed here that you can follow step by step, and trust me when I say it works. Like I said earlier, this is the same system that I used to go from zero to over $1 million in sales in the last 10 months with my most recent e-commerce brand. The other thing that most dropshippers fall short on is post-purchase experience. They're so focused on generating that sale, they tend not to think about the customer past the point of sale, which means they have poor communication, they use slow shipping lines, they have poor quality products, and all of these things end up making it a negative experience for the customer. Some of them don't even have any customer support whatsoever. You only need to look at a few Trustpilot pages to see how many of them just have 1-star reviews. It's really, really bad. And honestly, it gives dropshipping a bit of a bad name, okay? Because like I said earlier, all the dropshipping is a fulfillment method, and a fantastic one at that. But the way that you can separate yourself from these everyday dropshippers that barely make any money anyway is by building an actual brand, something that has consistency, something that has longevity, and ultimately something that you can be proud of. And that all comes down to creating a good customer experience, not just up until the point of the sale, but also post-purchase as well, by selling high-ticket products that people actually want, by having a good relationship with your private agent so that you can source products at the best price point and leverage the fastest shipping lines so that customers are satisfied with the timelines in which they receive the product. Also being transparent with the customers, explaining clearly what the timelines are going to be, keeping them engaged post-purchase by sending them emails so they know where their order is at on its journey and allow them to be excited for when it actually arrives. This is the difference. You need to create an experience for your customer so that they're looking forward to and excited to receive the product, and that the customer support is there to support them every step of the way should they need it. The sooner you can get away from this dropshipping mindset and start thinking about a real brand owner, that's the difference. That's where you're really going to see your brand take off. That's where you're really going to scale and build something that has a longevity and also exit value. And truth be told, it all starts here. Building with the right intention. As long as you can do that, I truly believe all of the other pieces will just fall into place. Obviously, it would help if you have access to all of the knowledge that I've accumulated over the past 6 years, but that's why I've designed the Google Ads Ecom Academy for people like you. It's my one-to-one mentorship program where you gain access to my step-by-step blueprint that shows complete beginners how to build successful dropshipping stores. Most people join my program as a complete beginner, no prior dropshipping or e-commerce experience, and generate their first sale in as little as 4 to 6 weeks. That's going through the process of product and market research, sourcing the products, building the website, setting up their Google Ads campaigns, and generating their first sale in as little as 4 to 6 weeks as complete beginners. And then past that point, we just work and continue to scale up. That's where we implement things like branding, understanding the post-purchase experience, setting up automated email flows. There's many steps to it. And when it comes to building a business, there are many variables involved. I don't expect anyone that comes in as a complete beginner to get it all from day one, but that's why programs like mine exist. So if you do want to work more closely with me, then see the link in the video description for more information. I can help you build a branded dropshipping store the right way so that you can actually separate yourself from these dropshippers and actually position yourself as a brand, something with longevity, consistency, and actual exit value. So if that sounds like something you're interested in, see the link for more information. Otherwise, I hope you found this video useful. If you did, make sure to drop a like, comment, and subscribe. I really appreciate it, and I will see you in the next video.